Good night, good night. Have one done tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irvin J. Spirit Divine. I'm also unsolved missing divine. Here to give you a show news on today. Um, FTC, Federal Trade Commission, taking action against a company that sold SLAM health insurance. They're selling health insurance, and when the people get sick, um, they don't have no money to protect them. So it was a scam. A scam health insurance. So now the proposal court order requires to pay the Federal Trade Commission $100 million. So they got to pay $100 million to the federal. So which will go towards refunding the customers back. So they got to pay their money back to federal, and then they got to turn around and get their money to the customers. Because see, they made millions of dollars off of that, millions of dollars. So the company that sold scam health insurance plan are targeted on vulnerable customers. They went on customers that were vulnerable who really was looking for insurance. But I'm glad FTC has stepped in. You know, so the third party operating deception on web page. So they also had their own web page and marketing it on the insurance, like they was marketing it, and that's how they had got so many people. So this scam plans they which cost hundreds of dollars per month, hundreds of dollars per month. But left many patients unprotected during a serious medical event. So a lot of people was in that scam, in that insurance, but then when they got sick, they was unprotected. They didn't have no funds to pay for their hospital fee. So this scam insurance agent told the consumer that the plan would cover things that did not actually cover anything. So they lied to the people and told them, yeah, you this and that gonna cover it. So the people thought everything was covered until they had to go to the hospital and realize that the insurance that they had paid hundreds of dollars for cannot cover anything. So um that scam insurance pocket millions of dollars from customers, selling their insurance, you know. But now they're being ordered to pay their money back, $100 million back. So that insurance um now is under proposal co-op, will have to contact, and when they pay their money back, they will have to contact the customers and pay them back, and also tell them to cancel their enrollment. You know, they got to pay the money back and then call all the customers and tell them to cancel their enrollment. Prohibit a company from lying about their product and permanently ban former CEO Calvin Software and former vice president. Now, all these people was involved in marketing this insurance company. And they're gonna be accountable for it too. You know, um, so the settlement need it. Say they're putting all this together, but the settlement need a judge to sign off before it go into effect. You know, so so these days we just have to be careful. Especially when you're trying to get insurance over the phone. That's not good. If you don't see advertising on TV, a lot of times it's not good to go online. It's not good to go online sometimes. It's not good to get your insurance over the phone. If you don't see advertising on TV or you don't go in person, I advise anyone to don't get no insurance. Because see, for me, I would have to go in person, or I had to see that company advertising on TV, or either you call BBB. Because these days we have to be careful. These people was paying hundreds of dollars for health insurance, and then they go to the hospital, they have to have surgery and everything else, knowing this company can't even pay them. They was unprotected, and who knows how long they was paying this company for for the healthcare. For the healthcare, that's not cannot cover them. They was unprotected for all this long time. So I advise anyone, do not get healthcare over the phone. Do not be careful of getting it online. Because they had so many big people marketing this stuff. So online is still not safe either for y'all to be getting Medicaid. So you have to get Medicaid in person, or you either Google it and find out the location and go in person. Go in person, or either call BBB. I mean, these days we just have to be careful. Just got to be careful. They're not advertising on TV, and you can't go in person. I advise you just be careful getting health care. Or try to get on your job. Try to get health care on your job. Because these scams here, these people here made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Now they got to pay that back to federal to pay all these customers back. They pay hundreds of dollars a month for health care that they was not covered with. So now I'm gonna talk to you about um the Mexican. Um they have a problem. Our president, he ended the program of remaining in Mexico for their co-op. You know, some might have co-ops. So DH to end remain in Mexico. It allows seekers to enter the United States. Mexican security control access to a shelter for immigrants to return to the United States in January. But see, they have court dates coming up. They have court dates coming up. And you're trying to figure out what would be the best way for them to go to their court. Supreme Court clear that Mr. President in India remain in Mexico policy. So MPP enrolls, they step in. They should follow direction on their court document until a sheet to appear for their scheduled court date. Requires settlement to read. The DHS preparation to end the program in coming days. You know, um, I request I request that they remain in Mexico, allow them to seek to enter the United States to go to their court. Because if they go in the program, they're gonna be in there for months or years. They say several years. So it'd be best for them to remain in Mexico until their appointment time. So I request that they remain in Mexico for their appointment. And the United States Immigration Code will be allowed to cross the border on the day of their hearing. And stay in the United States while I'm waiting in an outcome. So I request somebody, I think they still should stay in Mexico until their appointed time. Then they'll be able to enter the United States, for their appointment. And then they will await the outcome in the United States. So I think it'd be better they remain in Mexico to wait on their appointment, and that way they'll be able to go to the United States to their court date. So I request that they remain in Mexico, because it will allow them to still go to their appointment. You know, allow them to go to their permit, and they will still be able to go to the United States. Cross the border on the day of their hearing and stay in the United States while waiting on the outcome. So I think that'll be the best way because they will get trapped in that program. What happened the last time. They was in that program, and sometimes when they said to be in that program, it be months, or it might be several years. So it'd be best if they stay in Mexico until their permanent time. So now we talked about AFC, Federal Trade Commission. They call whole a health insurance. When a person had to go to the hospital, then they realized they wasn't covered. They wasn't covered. The FTC step in, because they was not covered. They're taking action against the company that sold scam health insurance, and they made millions of dollars off of that. Millions of dollars. So the court order required to pay. They have to pay their money back to federal. They got to pay the money back, and see the money they're paying back gonna go towards the customers that didn't rip off. Because they've been paying. Who knows how long they've been paying the hundreds of dollars for insurance that don't even exist. So a company that sold scam insurance, health plan targeted about vulnerable people. They were vulnerable. Some people be really looking for health insurance, and when they talk to them about a good deal, it seemed impossible, and that's how they got caught up in it. It seemed so impossible, so real, And they're like, oh, okay, and so yeah, they had it. They're saying like it's saying sounding real good, like it's impossible to cancel. I guess the way that was represented to the customers, they feel like it's just too good to be real. So they didn't want cancer. They went on with it. Because some people try to get health insurance, and sometimes it ends. If you don't try to get health care before November, um, I mean in November, and it's past November, and this health care probably allowed them to get it. And that's why they probably jump with it because they advertise it so good, so nobody didn't want cancer, and that's how they probably got caught up with it. So but now they in court and have to deal with that and have to pay their money back and return it back to the customers. So I also talk about Mexican. They have codex. And so we're trying to see what the best way for them. And I think if they get in a program, they're gonna get lost in that program. So I think it'd be best for them to stay in Mexico, and to their apartment time. I think they should stay in there to their apartment time. That way, they'll be able they'll be able to cross the border on the day of the hearing, and stay in the United States while waiting on the outcome. So I think that'll be best for them, and I request that they remain in Mexico until their permanent time. So that's all the show news I have for you on today. And y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all on the next video.